Hello, my name is Leo Saul. I'm co-founder and CEO of SAGA Diagnostics. We are a cancer diagnostics company focusing on the cancer liquid biopsy. Just a little bit about myself. I have an MD and PhD background from Columbia, New York, and actually I'm a personal survivor of cancer some 25 years ago. So I have a real passion and motivation to bring new innovations into the clinic to benefit patients. So as we all know, cancer is a huge problem, but I'll point out a few major ones. One is that the tissue biopsy is risky and sometimes leads to complications and the tumor can be missed. It's also difficult to measure in real time how patients respond. Metastases are detected rather late, which means that most metastatic patients are actually incurable. There's also the flip side, which is that many patients are being overtreated because we don't know that they're already cured. There's no good test to know that they're cancer-free, so patients go on to receive therapies that they don't need. And lastly, as many of you know, drug development is very slow and very costly, and so new efficiencies are needed. So that's where liquid biopsies really slot in. They're non-invasive, they're very simple to collect, you can ship them around the world. It's very quantitative and prognostic, and we also get a readout of gene mutations, which are targetable by many drugs. We and others have shown you can detect metastatic disease very early, in some cases 3 years early, and you can spare cured patients, we believe, from having to receive therapies that they don't need. And lastly, through a combination of these effects, we're finding very good interest from pharma companies who are adding liquid biopsy testing to their clinical studies to learn more information from every patient and to find out who is responding and what biomarkers are correlated to that response. So this cartoon shows what we're measuring. It's something called circulating tumor DNA. It's DNA that comes out of tumor cells and is released into the bloodstream. We have 3 platform technologies which measure this ctDNA. 2 of them are on the market. We have paying customers for IBSafe and Chroma. We have a third method called ActionSeq, which we're currently developing and should launch next year. What we offer, it really is the best performing methods. We're about 100 times better than the competition. Of course, this is proprietary methods. We have very good clinical data. And because all cancers release this DNA, this can be applied across any cancer type, although we focus on the major indications. What's important to know is that this ctDNA can be present at very, very low levels, less than 0.1%. So really ultra-sensitive methods are what everyone's looking for. And this is predicted to really disrupt healthcare, and it's a very hot area that it's quite exciting to work in. So this can be used in different aspects of a patient's journey. There are some companies that are looking at screening, but what we're focusing on are cancer patients and how to stratify them better and determine which therapies are working and which therapies they should be tried next. So not only are we about 100 times more sensitive than the competition, this shows a number of different technologies over the years, and you can see that the more sensitive is better, and we are about 100 times better than the competition. Not only are we much more sensitive, but we also can get results much more rapidly. Instead of taking several weeks, we can do this in just a couple days compared to the competition. We also have a much lower cost of goods. And we have a business model where we can make kits, and that's in the long term much more scalable than just doing a pure service business model. The market for this is very large. It's combined in Europe and the United States, estimated to be over 15 billion euros. And we're already, like I said, on the market. We have a central lab in southern Sweden where customers, primarily biopharma companies, send us samples for testing. We also have a business model where we partner with labs and sell them kits and the license and training. And we have 2 Swedish hospital systems that have signed on, Region Skåne and Region Örebro. And then to the far right, in the long term, as our kits get CE marking and FDA approval, we can then market these kits worldwide. So we will anticipate our first CE mark in the first quarter of next year based on the IB-Safe technology. Our lab will also be accredited around the same time. Currently, we're planning for our own clinical trials to further establish the evidence for market launch. And we anticipate starting our own clinical study next year. We have a very good team with many decades of experience in medicine, in the pharma industry, in clinical diagnostics, and finance, and taking companies public. Our board of directors is also very distinguished with experts in cancer diagnostics from companies like Dako and Agilent. And also, we recently took on venture capital and have Walter Stockinger from Hadean Ventures on our board. We have very good scientific advice as well. Annelies Borsendale is the former president of the European Association for Cancer Research. She's world famous with around 400 publications. And Nicholas Lohmann is an attending oncologist who oversees a number of diagnoses for the southern part of Sweden. So just to summarize, we are rapidly growing. We have 10 persons in the company today, expanding to 12 in the next couple months. We spun out from Lund University. We have this best-in-class technology. It's a very large market. We had a 1 million seed round back in 2018. We raised 3.7 million earlier this year. And we have a number of pharma customers and repeat customers, as well as 2 Swedish healthcare regions as customers. We are gearing up, as I mentioned, with our clinical development plan, and we'll have open our next round towards the end of this year or early part of next year. We haven't narrowed down exactly the amount needed, but it'll be probably in the range of between 4 and 8 million euros. So thank you very much.